Hello, welcome to a quick tutorial on some blueprint symbols that we're going to use for our two-dimensional floor plans for houses. So this is a modified blueprint that I changed a little bit of. For this class, you guys will have access to the blueprint I use, but this one, the dimensions are a little bit different. We're just going to use this to go over some things like doorways, window casings, single, double hinge doors, pocket doors, and a couple other things. So first thing we're going to go over is the O-snap tools, which ones should be on, which ones shouldn't be on. And when we're drawing houses, a lot of it, we're going to use the grid to help out. One thing to note that this grid is in feet. The dimensions for the house was provided in feet. So that's the way I set this up. We're going to turn persistent on so that every time we use this tool, all these little add-ons will always be on. So we're going to use end, near, point, midpoint, intersection, and perpendicular, and we may turn a couple on and off depending on what we need to do. So the first thing I'm going to do is in this area over here, this is going to be the entrance when we finish the blueprint. This is going to be the kitchen over here. In the original plans, this is a small linen closet. We're just going to create a little nook so that we can create just an opening instead of a full door on a hinge. So basically all we're going to do is we're going to cut out a section of this here, and it's just going to be an opening for things like shoes, jackets, stuff like that. There's a couple ways to do it. I like using the rectangle tool because it allows me really precise control over the dimension of the opening and where I want to place it. These grid lines are every 1 foot, so you can see where we're going to place it on here. And I'm going to make a 2-foot opening, and I'm going to try and center it on this line as good as I can. So I'm going to use the 3-point tool. Basically what the 3-point tool allows you to do is if you're drawing a line and you place the first point, I can give a dimension. So say I want 2 feet, and it will automatically snap that to what 2 feet is. If you hold shift down, that'll automatically place it on a horizontal or vertical line. And then you can do the height of it as well. So say I want 3 feet. It'll automatically snap it to 3 feet. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete that, and I'm going to place it on here. Oops. Turn gumball off. Also, I have the grid snap tool on up here. So when I'm going, I have it set up so that every 1/4 of a foot, it automatically snaps to that. So that's one way we can use for measuring too. Let's delete that. Alright, so I'm going to make a 2-foot opening on this. And for right now, I'm just going to turn off near so that I can place it in my 1/4 foot increments. If the near tool is on, it won't snap to the grid lines. It'll snap to the line on here, and we won't be able to place it precisely. Keep pressing this button by accident. Sorry about that. Alright, so here, the distance between this section here and this section here is a 1/2 foot, and this section here and this section here is a 1/2 foot. So we're going to use that to place our line. Okay, so now our measurement is equal. And now I just want to cut this out so that it's an opening. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to explode the box that we made. So instead of being 1 curve, it'll break it into 4 separate curves. And you can see the command down here said that it successfully did that. Now I'm going to go and I can delete the top and bottom curve. Oops, wrong one. So let's Command Z to go back a step. And I'll select this one and delete it. So now we're left with just these 2 lines here. So really we only use the rectangle tool for getting the measurement of the curves exact. So now what we're going to do is we're going to cut out this section here and this section here. So I'm just going to select everything by dragging my mouse over top of that. Actually first I'm going to select the tool I want. I want the cutting tool. And now the objects I want to cut will be in here. So I'll select all those, press enter, and these are the objects I want to trim. So last thing you can do is you can add a linear dimension. From here to here. so that when we're reading the blueprints, we can see how large that opening should be, and the builders can build that accordingly.